Just by a show of hands, how many people here, when you do see somebody else that's done it, just again being honest, feel like you're more capable to do it? Just if you see somebody else that's done it, right? Again, everybody's that same way. And we had somebody that came in, actually even recently, who had some amazing results. So I want you to meet. Come up here. She's kind of bashful, so you have to give her some love. Give her some love. Come on, give her some love. Good. Where did Sam go? He totally ran out on you. So there he is. Good. Oh, he's sick. So this is her husband, Sam. This is Charlene. Come on up here, man. You're part of the crew. So Charlene came in. Just why don't you tell everybody how it was when you first came in?
Well, I started with, back in August when I came in, I was taking blood pressure medicine. My inflammation levels were really high, like 4 times the normal limit that they should be.
And what were you doing every month?
I thought I was doing good. I thought I was eating healthy. I was following a low-fat diet, and just didn't know why things weren't changing, why I wasn't losing weight.
She was also doing immune infusions, right?
Yes, twice a month.
Twice a month, that's
yeah,
right.
Every 2 weeks since 2008. So.
And those aren't like cheap, right?
No, they're not cheap.
How much does it cost? Did you just pay for them?
It's probably about $12,000 treatment.
Yeah, so twice a month.
$24,000 a month.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the cost of your care is it's now just went up. It's $24,000 a month.
Yes.
So no, not really. So tell us what happened after you came in.
Very expensive.
Yeah.
I was mainly concerned about the inflammation. That's kind of why I came to see you, and thought I was doing everything good. Got some good information. Started getting adjusted to correct the interference in the spine and the nervous system. Yeah. And started on the advanced plan to address the inflammation issues. And I'm no longer.
Inflammation.
Yeah, inflammation. 4 times every year it was like doubling, and I was almost like at 4 times the normal amount. Normal is like 20. I was more like at 75. So I was almost 4 times the normal where I should be.
You just had blood work recently.
Just had blood work, and I'm like at 17. So I'm like below.
Amen.
Yeah,
Office of medication?
No blood pressure medication.
Good. How about the infusions?
Infusions, I've cut those back. I'm working on those. Yeah.
So almost done with those.
Yeah.
So also you lost a little bit of weight?
Lost 25 pounds.
25 pounds.
Yeah.
Gotta get an amen for that.
Yeah. So.
Good.
And I was gonna say, and what was your favorite drink that I used to stock?
Coke Zero.
Well, no, that and
sweet tea.
Sweet tea.
Wait, it's not sweet tea. It's
sweet tea.
Sweet tea. Sweet tea. All right, so big round of applause for these guys. Pinkertons. Awesome. Good. Okay. So, without further ado, I want to throw this up. You've been lied to. Everybody say, I've been lied to. Good. All right. So we've been lied to. Basically, most people think that if I work out on a treadmill and I've been on there for 45 minutes at a fat burning zone, that guess what? I'm going to burn fat. That's a lie. It's a lie from the devil. You just can't do it. It doesn't happen. And most of you guys have tried that and you've come up short. Yes? Yes or no? You tried that, right? It's frustrating too, right? Well, there's another reason why people don't do that. Not just because they're frustrated. It's because they have tried, but they have excuses. Raise your hand if you've got an excuse for not working out. You better raise your hand if you've got a hand. I don't care if it's right or left. Everybody here's got an excuse. So I want you guys to see this. This is what most people's idea of how to exercise is. Now, what's crazy is some of you guys are like, that's a nice gym. I wish I could go to a gym like that. Listen, that is the wrong idea. Coach, come on. Seriously? That's just terrible. But let me tell you something. Everybody's got an excuse. I want you to listen to this.
It's got a headache. It's raining. My dog is sick. I can't right now. I'm not inspired. It makes me smell bad. I'm allergic to stuff. I'm fat. I'm thin. It's too hot. I'm not right. I've got shin splints, headache. I'm distracted. I'm exerting myself too much. I'd love to really, but I can't. I just can't. My favorite show is on. I got a case of the Mondays, the Tuesdays, the Wednesdays. I don't want to do this. I'm going to do something else. After New Year's. Next week. Might make a mistake. I got homework. I feel bloated. I have gas. I got a hot date. My coach hates me. Mom won't let me. I bruise easily. It's too dark. It's too cold. My blister hurts. This is dangerous. Sorry, I don't have a bike. I didn't get enough sleep. My tummy hurts. It's not in my jeans. I don't want to look all tired out. I need a better coach. I don't like getting tackled. I have a stomach ache. I'm not the athletic type. I want to get sweaty. I have better things to do. I don't want to slow you down. I have to do this. As soon as I get a promotion, I think I'll sit this one out. And my feet hurt.
Now listen, the reason I play that is because if you have an excuse, I have just taken care of it. It was probably in there. I like it was like, I don't get all sweaty. I love that. So if you had an excuse, it's done. But listen, anything is better than what? Anything's better than nothing. But high intensity, short duration is the best. We talk about Metcon or metabolic conditioning. That's why we've got Max T3. I don't have one up here, but if you're a patient, you have it. It's the Max T3 DVD series. It's 12 minutes of exercise. It's Metcon. It's fast. It's intense. And it's done in 12 minutes. Got it? Now, we're going to do some of that today. I threatened, and we're here. We're to that point. But before we get there, I'm going to actually have, not just yet, but I'm going to have the guy that leads me, Todd Zakowski, who owns the best CrossFit gym in the world, come up. He's going to lead you. But let me tell you what has to happen. It has to happen today, and it has to happen all through this month. I need to get you to where you're more comfortable being uncomfortable. Does that make sense? I need to get you to a place where you're comfortable being uncomfortable. The problem is most people don't want to get that uncomfortable when you work out. But you've got to get to a state where you change your physiology. Getting great results don't happen when you're on a treadmill going, hey, everybody, how you doing? And you're just on a treadmill. I checked off. I did my exercise today. It has to be done where your physiology completely changes. You get through your VO2 max. You can't get any oxygen you can anymore. And you sit like this, and you finish, and you're up like this. And this is all you can do at the end. In fact, I can't even do this at the time I'm done with my workouts. I have to do this. I'm on the back. I'm like this. I'm laying on the floor like this. This is how I end every single workout. Todd Zakowski, am I right? That's true. I hate that he admits that so quickly. But that's how I end every workout, just like that. So I'm going to have him come up, and I want him to take us through. Now, some of you guys don't even know what Max T3 is. It's time, tempo, or time, type, and tempo. You dial those in. Just so you know, what you have is not an exercise video with 12-minute exercise in it. What you have is a scientifically put together set of exercises that have different workout types, tempos, and times to engage and dial your hormones perfectly so that you lose weight and not build fat. Does that make sense? That's how amazing that is. And some of you guys as patients have not even opened the cellophane on the wrapper yet. I won't ask you to raise your hand, but you know who you are. Now, I need someone to lead me. Some of you guys do better with that. And listen, it is one of the greatest things that I've done. I've never liked to get up at 4:30 in the morning and get to a workout at 5 ever. Between what Dr. Kimberly's done with me through the metabolic program and then just working on my health constantly, but then having a great place to go where everybody knows your name, you feel encouraged when you get there, right? It's not like going to the gym either. Like when you go to the gym, you're in a place and it's like there's people going, and then like doing crazy stuff next to you, and you kind of feel like, maybe I shouldn't be here. Maybe I'll go over here and work out, and then the same thing happens over there. But you come in, you guys are all doing the same thing in a CrossFit gym, and that's why I love it. It's like you all come together to tackle a hill together, and you get to know each other and make fun of each other and have fun together every single morning. I show up so much for the camaraderie now in CrossFit as I do the workout. But what I want Todd to do today is to really take you guys through an exercise program. Now, what I want to see is people getting uncomfortable. Like you need, literally, when he's done, there should be sweat. I should see like moist pits. I should see people going like this. Like you should accuse your neighbor of stealing your oxygen because they're breathing so hard. Got it? That's what I want to see. And so really you gotta dial it in. So we want to play hard and have fun, but we really want to play what? Play hard right now. The reason we want to do that is because we want your your excess post-exercise oxygen consumption or your afterburn, so the amount of oxygen you use after the exercise, to be great. What happens is, if you guys look at those screens, this one here, classic cardio, you're only at a certain metabolic rate, so this is 1 hour of time. So right when you're done, that amount of oxygen post-exercise you use just drops. So within like 15, 20 minutes, it's gone. But if you can dial this thing up and go so hard that you don't have any more reserve for oxygen and you're out of breath so much, you can't talk anymore. Basically what you're trying to, in 12 minutes, you literally can get to a point where you literally have an afterburn of oxygen, burning fuel, getting leaner while you don't do anything for for up to 36 hours, 38 hours. Is that awesome? Who would like that? Just raise your hand. Guess what? You got to push hard, and he's about to do that. Are you ready? All right, so we're going to do something amazing. This is what it is right here. There he is right there, the man, larger than life, the legend. I'm going to get out of the way.
It's
right
my,
here.
It's my anniversary.
Is it really?
1 year that you did my first adjustments after this makeover last
Oh, awesome. Give it up. Spectacular. He's also a patient, just so you know, and he's not just any patient. You know, I don't know if you know this about me. I'm kind of cheap. He doesn't get paid to come. He wants to volunteer because he wants to make this a better community. That's why he started the CrossFit gym. He could have done anything, and literally, I mean that. And he started a CrossFit gym because he wanted to make people healthier and more fit and encourage people. And he's taken a person that's made it their life message to go out and encourage people, and he's encouraged me every day I've been there. So I want you to get on your feet. Everybody up. Here we go.
Oh, some of you asked a question that I always ask when they see me. Are we going to squat today? Yes, we are going to squat today because squatting is the most functional movement in the entire world. Squatting replicates what? Going to the bathroom, right? Okay, going to the potty. And so our goal for you is when you are 90 years old, you can continue to go to the bathroom without any assistance whatsoever. Is that a good goal? Good goal. And so we're going to work on the squats, but we're also going to do a couple other things to kind of get our way into it. We're going to finish with squats. But today we're going to do several different things. We're going to start off with what you're used to from David's warm-ups for you. We're going to start running in place, but we're going to add a punch. So while we're running in place, I want to see your hands moving, so practice that for a second. Right there in your spot. You're punching, you're running, you're punching, you're running, right? That's movement number one. We're going to do that for 20 seconds. 20 seconds. Then we're going to rest for 10. Then we're going to do movement number two. Movement number two is put your hands in the air and jump. Jump, jump, jump. All right, we're getting a little harder now. 20 seconds of jumping with our hands in the air. And we're going to finish with squats. We're going to look at the squats real quick. You have a chair there. The chair is going to help you because you're going to touch and go, touch and go. But what I'm looking for is I'm looking for you to be able to sit down, back on your heels, sit to your chair and stand. Sit and stand. I don't want to see anybody up on their toes doing any of this. Back and down. Back and down. For those of you that are advanced and have done this before, you can do the more advanced move, which is squat, touch the floor, and jump if you want to. So that's the advanced plan. That's the advanced plan. All right, so I'm going to cue up the music. We're going to go for 20 seconds. I got my timer right here. Yeah, that's good music. All right, here we go. Movement number one. 3, 2, 1, go. Here we go, as hard as you can. We're punching, we're running, punching. Hey, that looks good over there. You got that one? That looks good. Oh, it's only halfway. We're still going. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. And rest. All right, 10 seconds. Breathe. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. We're jumping. Here we go. We're still jumping. We're halfway. We're still jumping. I think I can go to stage. And rest. All right, 10 seconds. Breathe. This is your idea. All right, here we go. We're squatting and jumping. Here we go. Ready? Are we done yet? And stop. Thank you very much. I think you're warm now.
We will resume in about 5 minutes when I catch my breath. I never do it with you guys because I don't want to come up here and be out of breath. This is the way it should be right there. Yeah, that's good stuff. You should be in class with him. It's very fun. Very, very fun. Okay, so moving on here. This is the inside of the gym, by the way. He cleans the floor often, and the reason for that is sweat bombs from Dr. Herb all day long. Actually, I usually end on my back, like I said, and I always say I leave a mark on his gym, because when I get up, you can see an outline of me every single day, right where I was laying. Actually, one day he came in, he goes, "You okay? It's been about 4 or 5 minutes you've been laying there." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm going to be fine." Awesome. All right. So, moving on. So, this month, we want to do this. You see me? I did the cancer killer makeover I did last week at a church. We talked about oxygen. And when you flood your cells and your tissues with oxygen, your cancer rates go down super, like literally, cancer does not like oxygen. Like it will run away. And so you flood your body with oxygen, your likelihood of cancer just goes closer and closer to nil. In fact, Otto Warburg says the cause of cancer is known. It's when any cell is deprived of oxygen by up to 60%. Got it? So cool stuff, right? And so who would like to not have cancer? Raise your hand. Me too. So we want to do this all week and every week. We do, listen, 4 days a week. So you can go, listen, if you want to come, 5 a.m., come work out with me at the gym, at the CrossFit gym, or in the evening time, you can come in. You can do it for free at our office at 6, is it 6:30 or 6:15? 6:15, but on Wednesdays, it's with me at 6:30. I need to finish adjusting first. Now, as soon as I say that, you go, "Oh, I can go adjust. I do it with Droda, but not Dr. David. Not going to do it. Not going to do it." But guess what? It's not hard. Well, I won't say it's not hard. I'm going to get you very comfortable with being uncomfortable all month long. I'm going to do this all the way till the 7th of March, which is the end of this makeover, and the beginning of the rest of your life doing this. Next, sweating, which is what we want to create. Did anybody feel like they're a little moist after that? Me too. Yeah, I'm not going to take this off. Probably have a couple pit things going there. But the reason that sweating is so big is because it's going to really naturally detox you, help reboot the hormones, and get you faster results. Some of you guys haven't sweat since 1986. It's not good. Every single cancer consult I've ever done, they've always had the same thing in common. They just really didn't sweat very well. And so we really want you guys sweating very well. It's a healthy thing. If you don't sweat great, we need to figure that out. And it may be your nervous system, maybe a toxicity issue. Could be something, but we're going to fix it. Got it? And we're going to make this happen. I like that too. Sweat is fat crying. I love it. I'm going to make them weep too. All right, so the reason it's important is because we want that cell membrane to be permeable. This helps. Sweating really helps it be permeable. And to really help aid that is what that Opto-Omega is for, is to help heal that membrane of your cell. If I can get every cell healthy, guess what you'll be? Healthy, that's what we want, okay? Also, we have some chia seed pudding. Do we have that in the house? Let's pass that out as I continue here. I wanted you guys to try this. This is healthy pudding. Now, this is a 100% advanced plan, just like the other one was. It's got healthy fats. It's made with chia seed. This is really, really nice stuff. This is what we eat every single week at our house. Also, Cray team, what do we have every single meeting of every week that we're there? What is if one of you have what? Chia seed chocolate pudding. And actually, we started getting competitive, and they changed the recipe up. So one week, somebody added some cinnamon, and we were like, "Holy Lord of mercies, that's awesome!" And so everybody started adding cinnamon. Then somebody added something else, and so this is now the recipe. So I don't have this written down, take a picture of it with your phone, write it down on something. But this is the recipe, and so healthy fats, good proteins. It'll also be used as a meal replacement during these days here. Yeah. It's unsweetened coconut milk, yes, and it's full fat too, not low fat. Got it? If you can get organic, get the organic one. You can get that stuff at Walmart. You can get it at Kroger, Market Street, Sprouts, everywhere. If you go to Sprouts and they don't have any, it's because the Herb family's been there. We buy like 20 cans at a time. So it's good stuff. So pass that out, start trying it. Raise your hand, those guys that have tried it. You guys like that? Is that good stuff? It's good? It's kind of nice? Completely healthy, completely guilt-free. Now, if you guys start having like a sugar craving, do you think that might kind of ease it up a little bit? You see that? So it's good stuff, okay? Let's talk about stress a little bit. I know nobody here is stressed. Say, "I'm not stressed." I'm not stressed. You can't even put it out of your mouth. Look at you, you're like, I can't even say it. Stress is a real thing. Stress causes a stress hormone response. Cortisol, everybody's heard. There's a lot more than that. But cortisol, when cortisol goes up, every bit of your metabolic processes go down. I just had a conversation with somebody over the break, and they said, well, I think my friend or my daughter has a slow metabolism. But generally what we see is that you're it's just a dysfunctional metabolism. Does it make sense? Not a slow metabolism, it's just dysfunctional. A lot of things can cause it, but one thing that specifically can cause it very easily is stress. The people that actually go through some serious life circumstances, we see them start gaining weight. And it's not because they're driven to comfort foods. It's because literally their cortisol goes to the roof, insulin jumps up, and then leptin burns out, and then they can't use fat for a fuel source, and then they just start packing on weight because of stress. Make sense? So the question you want to have is, how do I decrease stress in my life? And no, don't say anything about your in-laws. It's not getting rid of your in-laws. No, it's not your boss, right? No, well, maybe it is your boss if you work for me. But no, it's what it is. What it is, it's your perspective, right? And so you can't change the world around you until you change your perspective of it. Everybody hear that before? So you got to change your perspective. I'm not saying that the world's going to be perfect ever, but what you can do is change your reaction to it. And we do that by reading the Bible, reading the Word, which is powerful. We do that with daily affirmations. We do that with being in a culture of people that support you and are great with you. We had somebody that actually left a job recently because it wasn't a good fit, and there was a lot of stress to that. We had a nurse last year who told she had to have a flu shot. And again, I don't believe in flu shots, just so I'm be transparent. And they said they were going to fire her if she didn't take the flu shot. So she said, this is an environment that I want to work in, and she left. And I totally applaud that. That's awesome, right? So there's some things I don't necessarily think you need to quit your job, but you need to work on stress. If you can't do that, there's a couple things. There's a dynamic duo, green coffee bean extract and ashwagandha. Now, you guys know that I've had ashwagandha in some of the products since we formulated them several years ago. And Dr. Oz went on, when he did that whole thing on weight loss, it was last year, year before, whatever it was, and he did a whole thing on weight loss. Do you remember that? And as soon as he said ashwagandha, and I've been talking about it for years, there was a worldwide shortage of ashwagandha. We literally could not get ashwagandha to make our Max Fit product, and it went on back order for like a month and a half or something like that. So ashwagandha, amazing research shows that it actually has a protective effect to your nerve supply, which means your brain doesn't release stress hormones because it doesn't feel stressed as easily. Does it make sense? So you can lessen your stress hormone responses by simply taking something with ashwagandha in it. Got it? That's why we do Max Fit, because it helps get leaner because it's got ashwagandha in it. Another one is coffee bean extract. There was a Swedish study done. It was 22 weeks long. They had people in it. The average person lost 10% of their body weight without changing their diet or their exercise. Now, as soon as I say that, don't just go think you can buy this and get healthy. You can't get health in a pill. But the average person lost 16% of their body fat, which is really good. So having ashwagandha and having green coffee bean extract is a powerful way to do it. Does it make sense? Very, very simple, very easy to do too. So we actually have Max Fit. It's funny too. It's like we have so many different resources now for things. This is one that a lot of people just don't take advantage of. If it's not something you want to take regularly, got it. But I can tell you, during this makeover, if you put yourself a destination on the map that's a long way away, I would do everything I could for that commitment to get that point. This would be maybe one thing that you would think about. Got it? Make sense? But resources-wise, again, it's 15% off for everything. And I'm going to have Dr. Kimberly come up. She's going to go through a couple things, Kickstart-wise, upcoming events, and then I'm going to close this out with a couple other things. And can I just say this? Everybody thinks that all of this, the circle, and listen, guess who goes on TV? I go on TV. Guess who goes on radio? I go on radio. Guess who gets to be on stage all the time? I do. Guess who goes on stage at seminars? I do. And everybody looks and goes, man, I'm amazed at what you've done. And they're talking to me sometimes when she's not around. And I'm not just saying this. Literally 90 plus things that happen for you in that office happen because the person who knows how to organize, who knows how to systematize, to produce the type and the level of care that is like no other, and that's my wife. So big round of applause for Dr. Kimberly. Love you. All right.
So do you want to click for me?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so ready to lose 20 and 30. The new, basically I'm going to walk you through kind of your steps. Some people want to lose more than 20. Some people want to lose 10. Whatever that is, we need to decide that based upon the next slide here. And actually, first, before I get into that, I want to talk about this Kickstart Cleanse. I got a lot of patients, actually, and people came up to me and said, what is this Kickstart Cleanse? There are a few more packets. I think we have 5 more left. But I want to kind of talk to you and kind of explain this to you a little bit so that way you can decide whether this is going to be part of your plan. There's a few more flyers over there. There's a couple pages. Basically, it's 15 days. And the first, it actually gives you an exact plan of what to do for those 15 days. So days 1 through 3, it'll tell you you're going to do a plant protein smoothie for breakfast. You're going to do a plant protein smoothie for lunch. And then dinner is going to be an advanced plan meal. And it's going to be, one of those full fiber. It says more like focus on fiber-rich foods. There are also supplements that you take with it. So it'll tell you specific supplements in what time of day that you need to take them. And those supplements are actually all on the back of the sheet here. So you'll have Detox System, you'll have vitamin D3, you'll have Daily Defense, Max Greens, and then again, like I said, the Perfect Plant Protein. So basically, you're not going to have to think too much about breakfast and lunch because it's going to be a smoothie. And that smoothie, you can put avocados, you can put almond butter in there, you can put blueberries, you can mix it up with advanced plan additives in your smoothie, but basically you're just going to be doing a smoothie for breakfast, a smoothie for lunch, and then an advanced plan meal for all 15 days. Each day it gives you like the sections days 1 through 3, it'll tell you what to expect. Now I think that's kind of important when you're doing a cleanse because when you show up and you're actually cranky for 3 days, and your spouse says, dang, what is wrong with you? What's wrong? Well, you can say, my Kickstart Cleanse is actually what's wrong, but it's actually what's right. You're basically dumping toxins, and that's a really important thing. And sometimes in the process of changing your hormones around, that actually can make things a little bit difficult. Anybody have that issue when they've kind of gone through a cleanse before? I know Rebecca's going through it right now. Rebecca, you're not cranky at all, are you? Nope. Rebecca? So, and I think Rebecca's on day 5, and she's lost about 3 pounds so far on day 5, so that's good. Then days 4 through 6, it has the same thing, and then it'll tell you kind of what to expect. What's nice, it'll say fatigue, headaches, increased bowel movements, hunger, thirst, irritability, changes in mood, skin rashes, and irritations. So it gives you kind of a heads up of what you kind of can look for. Same thing for days 7 through 9, 10 through 12. And when you get into the days 10 through 12, what's exciting is it'll tell you what to expect is improved energy, weight loss, improved sleep, and improved digestion. Then you'll go all the way through to day 15. And after day 15, that's when you're at that improved energy, weight loss, improved sleep, and improved digestion zone. So for some people, I think this is a really good place to get you mentally focused and mentally prepared to start doing the advanced plan. If this is the plan that you want to do, like I said, I have 5 more kits left. And what you want to do is while you're doing that, you want to be studying your cruise ship book here. And from studying this book, you're planning out your meals for the next 15 days because it's a 30-day cleanse that we're doing, a 30-day, detox at what we're doing here, 20 and 30 plan. So that's kind of what we're doing with that. So the 7 steps really that I want everybody, you can take a picture of this and kind of get your plan in order, but your 7 steps, really what you want to do is make sure you write down what your vision is. And I have a slide in the office for those of you who are patients in the office. There's a blue board in our office and it says, my vision for 2015, Lose to Win Makeover, February 7th is, and you pick up a sticker, you write down on that sticker, and that's really your vision. If it's lose 2 inches, off your waistline, fit in your size, whatever size jeans, be able to, do CrossFit, whatever that vision is, you want to write that down because that's really just like the big why that Dr. David talked about. That's going to be the thing that kind of catapults you and gives you a little direction of why you're getting up in the morning every day, okay? The next thing is you want to weigh in and measure yourself weekly. In our office, we have a Tanita and it's a body fat percentage scale. We also have scales in both of the bathrooms. If you have a scale that you like at home or a measuring tape that you do at home, the important thing is that you're consistent. You use the same measuring tool. So if you start with your measuring tape, measure at the same spot every week, okay? And also, if it's the Tanita, you put on there that you're the same height every time. That way the scale's accurate. A little bit taller and less body fat, right? So make sure you're measuring and you keep those measurements weekly. The next slide, I think, there's a place on there back to the weigh in and measure. There was also a place in the office where you can write your name. I thought that was on one of the slides, but you can write your name and write down your first name, your first initial of your last name, and every week write that on the sheet. 2 pounds down, 5 pounds down, 2 inches down. I went from a size 12 to a size 10, whatever that is. And that way you see it every time you come in, and it kind of helps you and motivates you. Last year, we had over 1,000 pounds lost in our office during this month that we did. 1,000 pounds, guys. So we can exceed 1,000 pounds, but it's really awesome is to be able to see that on the board. It gives you traction, it gives you momentum, it gets you excited. So you're going to choose your meal plan, step number 3. So some of you have never done the advanced plan before, so you're going to go to chapter 9 in this book, and you're going to choose that meal plan. I would photocopy it, put it out on your pantry door, and make a binder, whatever you need to do so that you actually get really comfortable with these meals. There's a shopping list in here, and if you haven't gone shopping yet with Dr. Becky, then make sure you sign up for the shopping day because she can teach you how to find some of these things in the grocery store. But choose your meal, choose your meal plan. This is also where you would choose whether you're going to do the 15-day jump start plan. And then if you do 15-day jump start, then you're actually going to transition over to on day 16, you're going to switch over to this. We also have a green book for those of you who've done this before. That's the Maximize Living Nutrition Plan, and there's recipes in there as well. So just make sure that when you get started that you choose which plan you're going to do, and then you just kind of stick with that. The next thing you do is step number 4 is you're going to choose your workout plan. So your workout plan, what does that mean? That means if you have never done any workout at all, then you're going to choose the Max T3 DVD, right? And you're going to come to the workshops that we have in the office, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. That would be maybe a first step for you. If you're already doing that, there's actually, in fact, in your folder, everybody has a folder. We have this little sheet right here. It says Lose to Win. And on here, this actually has 3 workouts a week that you can follow. If you've never done that, this is a really good example. If you're going to follow the workouts that are in the cruise ship book here, this is a 6-day-a-week workout plan. So for those of you who already were doing 3 days a week, you want to kick it up a notch by following the plan that's in here and using your Max T3 DVD and coming to the workshops in the office. Then if you've already been doing that and you're ready to kick it up another notch, that's when you're going to plug into something like CrossFit with Coach Todd and actually take it up another notch. You got 30 days to really hit it really hard. Number 5, bring a friend. Who knows that it's actually a lot more fun when you have somebody there that kind of counts on you, right? It's so much more fun when you have a friend. So bring a friend. Number 6 would be come to the follow-up events. Like I talked about with the follow-up events earlier, Dr. David's going to be doing Wednesdays where we're going to be working out in the office, so you'll have a chance in a second to sign up for those events. That's going to be, like I said, on the Wednesdays. We're also going to have a shopping class, so in your binder you have this little sheet right here Dr. David will cover in just a second, but this has all the events that are coming up. Plug into these events, go shopping with Dr. Becky. And then we have a recipe night called #Foodie. So that'll be where you'll be able to try some of these recipes and realize that it really does taste good. And then the other thing is the dinner that we have coming up. The last thing I want to say that's really huge is to journal everything. Begin today by journaling. Take your phone and start a note list and write down every single thing that goes in your mouth, what time it is, how much you're drinking, whatever it is that you're drinking, what your workout was for today, because there's nothing more convicting than to see it on paper, right? When you start seeing on paper what it is that you're doing, you actually start moving in a positive direction. I like it when people bring it in and just show me their journal. You can do that. I'll be around. You can show me what your journal looks like. But those are really kind of your roadmap and your steps to kind of get you to lose 20 pounds in 30 days if that is what you want to do. But whatever it is, whatever that vision or that goal is, this really helps you kind of guide you in that direction. Does that help everybody? Any questions? One more thing, if you are a patient who's already done metabolics, you want to stay on and you decide to do the cleanse, the 15-day cleanse, make sure you stay on all your supplements. So don't go off your supplements while you're doing your metabolics. Stay on whatever it is that was specifically designed for you and just change your meal plan out, okay? Any other questions? Good, awesome.
This is the sign me up. If you've not signed yourself up, we need a head count for different events coming up. If it's very big, we're actually going to move locations and things like this. So if you want to come, and listen, it's included in your makeover, right? Do you know what it would cost for 4 workouts a week with a personal trainer? It's $1,040, and it's included in the price of your ticket. Come, okay? Come with us to the grocery store. Make sure you're at recipe night. Come to these events, okay? So make sure you sign yourself up. And what you're going to do is once you fill that out, every single person has one in your bag or in your packet. I want you to fill it out, and then I want you to pass it to the left. Pass it to the left. Fill it out and pass it to the left. For some reason, I see some of you guys aren't filling that out. I'm not sure why that is. I may wait. You're going to fill that out. Good. All right, now, there are 2 things that you need. Good, keep going. There's 2 things you need to finish this up today. And I may actually finish close to on time. Here we go. 2 things. Number 1, you need belief. Number 2, you need involvement in the lives of others. Belief is the secret to the secret. It's a secret ingredient to the secret soup. If you watch Kung Fu Panda, sorry, a dad of a 4-year-old. Kung Fu Panda, he says the secret soup. He said, well, if I knew the secret ingredient to the secret ingredient soup, then you'd really love this. But what's the secret ingredient? You just have to believe. Also, what made it awesome is he was involved with the lives of others. He was excited for other people to try this. He was involved, okay? So I'm going to give you 2 stories. How many stories? 2. I'm going to give you 2 stories. First one with belief. The best story on belief that I can possibly give you is a story of a guy who's a runner. He is an amazing guy. Cliff Young is the guy's name. There's an ultra marathon. It's 875 kilometers. It's from Sydney, Australia to Melbourne. It's over 600 miles. It's the most grueling foot race on the planet Earth. Got it? So it's in our lifetime. It wasn't like 100 years ago. So the race is about to begin. It's 5 a.m. in the morning, and all the guys that are pro runners, they're all usually under the age of 30. They're wearing their Adidas, their Nike, right? So they're all their glasses. You know, they're all equipment. They look like runners. Can you get the picture? A guy rolls up. He's a 61-year-old farmer. He's wearing bibs and galoshes because he thinks it may rain. And he's not there to watch the race. He's there to participate. So he rolls up, and the people goes, "What are you here for?" He goes, I've never run a race before. I've always wanted to run a race, and my calendar was free, so I thought I'd come run this one." They were like, "What?" He goes, "What makes you think you can run this race?" He goes, "Well, I don't own a horse, and I run a cattle and sheep farm, so I go out and I run after sheep and cows, and sometimes I'll run for a whole day." And they go, "Well, good on you, mate. Let's go." So they start the race, and they just flat leave this 61-year-old farmer behind. But this 61-year-old farmer, Cliff Young, does this. And they later call it the Cliff Young Shuffle, because he's just going along, just like this. But Cliff Young has an advantage that none of the other runners have. Cliff Young does not have a coach to teach him that the human body can only run for 18 hours and has to sleep for 6, that it has to have the right amount of padding per weight ratio on the shoe, that you have to have non-chafing fibers, the stuff that you're wearing, that you have to have so many calories per hour, and the complicated math that involved with that. Cliff Young had an advantage because all he knew is he wanted to run a race, and he knew he could do it. And so guess what? At the end of the first day, the runners got 18 hours in, and they did what? They slept. And Cliff Young didn't know anything about this. So Cliff Young, as they were sleeping, just ran right on by. In fact, he kept running for 5.5 days straight without stopping. And at the end of the world's roughest, longest race, a 61-year-old farmer in galoshes and bibs actually beat the world record time by 12 hours and won the whole thing. That story of Cliff Young is the best story of belief. But I think sometimes the most powerful things that you get are the things that you don't know, which is why you have to protect this real estate. You know, you start having people tell you that your genes are where your health comes from and that you've got to have a flu shot. And, you know, if you have high blood pressure, you're going to have a stroke. And all these things that they put in here. Listen, your mind is a thing that creates real estate. Thinking makes things. I hate to be too metaphorically here or metaphysical, if you even will. But listen, your mind has a real input on who you are and what you achieve. And the one thing that he had more than all those other races, he's like, no, I like to run. I'm just going to run it. Can you imagine? Galoshes in a bib. It's just horrible. I love it. That's the first one. So you got to believe. Listen, your spirit, your human spirit can overcome anything. I've seen the worst of the cancers. I've seen people who just knew they were going to beat it. They'll beat it, right? Your human spirit and what you believe is the most important and most powerful thing, which is why this is essential number one, not the nerve supply. This is first. This has to come first. This is why this month long you have to protect the real estate of your mind. I think you ought to be off Facebook for a whole month. I think you ought to try and not text every single time. You're so Pavlovian dog when that thing goes bing or buzzes, it's like, boom, I got to check it. I got to check it. I got to check it. You have got to protect the real estate of your mind, right? And so this month, I want you to do that. I want you to be in the Word. That's what I do. You don't have to do that, but that's what we do. And I think it's amazing. It gives me power, just to let you know. There's power in it. But it's here first. Let me give you the second thing. Getting involved in the lives of others. I'm going to tell you one little story on it, and I'm going to be as fast as I can. It's a story of a little barista, okay? So you'll never forget this story. And I'm going to tell the story with three individuals. It's three women. The first one is the barista. She comes in. It's a 23-year-old girl, comes to the office. She has migraines so bad that they think she has a brain tumor, but she keeps getting the MRIs and CTs, and they can't find the brain tumor. She's 23 years old. She's got a newborn baby, and she can't hardly work. Her mom, who's a patient, understands, brings her in. We find the cause of it, and it's right there. And as soon as we open up the nerve supply, praise God, her headaches are gone. I'm free, I'm free, I'm free. But she's painfully introverted. And if you know that something that will save someone's life, I expect you to tell every person you know. But she's so painfully introverted, she doesn't talk to anybody. Even while she's a barista at Starbucks, she's just going and going and going. So here's a picture. I didn't show you this. This is Cliff Young, by the way. Is that awesome? And he beat all those 30-year-olds. But this is a barista, and she's from Starbucks. But she's at Starbucks. Her life has changed. She doesn't talk to anybody. But there's occasionally some people that come in that are just effervescently spectacular in their positivity and all the rest. And a mom and a 14-year-old son come in regularly. And one day they come in, she's not with it, but the 14-year-old is. And they have to drive in. So she's like, well, where's your mom? I know you didn't drive. Where's your mom? I just came in to get her latte. She's in the car. She can't walk. Her back pain is so bad with leg pain, she can't walk. And for an instant, she thinks what? I should what? I should tell her. I should tell her about chiropractic, and then if you've ever heard anything about chiropractic, and what's the next thing? I don't know if I want to get involved. What is she going to say? She might say no. I might be embarrassed. You know, this whole painful thing. But she reaches past that. She leaves the coffee bar. She walks outside. She gives a card. She gives her card to her office. And she says, listen, I'm uncomfortable to even talk about this with you, but this guy saved my life. Literally, I thought I was dying. I couldn't work here anymore. And the only reason that I've been serving you for all these weeks is because he saved my life. Go see him. Well, she's actually in her late 50s. She's about to be medically discharged from Parkland Hospital, where she's been working for 18 years. She's going to be medically retired, I should say. So she has her back's against the wall. She comes in. We find the problem, like we're looking for the cause. We're not there just to crack a spine or something. We find the cause of her problem, begin removing interference so her body can heal again, and guess what happens? It heals. She canceled the surgery she had planned for her back 3 weeks later. She began to lose weight, apply these 5 essentials just like you learned today. She lost a lot of weight. She now is living these essentials. Her life is great again. She didn't have to retire. She loves her job. And she happens to work in the basement of Parkland Hospital in the Patient Discharge Planning Center. So if you've ever been at Parkland and you get discharged, you've got to go to the discharge planner where it says, so what she would do is she'd sit down with you. She'd have a clipboard, say, this is what the doctor says, these are your medications, this is how you take them and when, and this is when they want to see you again, or this doctor, or this is your recommendation. But after her experience where this saved her life, she would do the very same thing, and then she would take the clipboard, and she'd set it right here. And need of them, she'd say, but now let me tell you what you really need to do. Whether it was right, whether it was wrong, whether it was legal, or whether it was not. She would say, listen, I've got a guy that I know will change your life and save your life. So this is the second lady. The third lady is a lady who lived in South America. She's a younger mom. She's got 2 kids, 2-year-old and 4-year-old. Her husband's a prominent medical doctor in their community. She becomes sick, and she begins to get sicker and sicker, and he can't figure out what's wrong with her. And they do all the tests, and they can't find out. She starts to get so sick that she's going down so fast, within 2-3 weeks, she will not be alive anymore. That's how fast things are getting bad. In fact, in a couple of days, she probably won't be able to walk. And so they literally emergency evacuate her country and flee to the United States to get to somebody that might be able to help her before she passes away. But as she's leaving, how do you say goodbye to your 2-year-old and your 4-year-old when chances are you're probably not going to see him again? And if you got kids, I want you to imagine this. You kneel down to your little 2-year-old and your 4-year-old, and you're at your front door, you're going to get in the car, and you grab their little faces, and you kiss on them, and you just put your forehead on their forehead. They're not emotionally mature enough to understand the situation. So she cannot tell them goodbye forever. All she can do is try and hold it together to say, I love you, mommy loves you, I love you, I love you. Gets to the car, and all she sees is at the front door, her little kids sitting with her mom going, bye, mommy, bye, mommy, bye, mommy. And she's sitting there, and she's sobbing, trying to keep a smile on her face as she waves goodbye to try and keep them from being scared. She makes it to Dallas. She gets in. Thank God she made it, right? It's almost like we got here. But she goes through all the battery of tests and everything they can do, and guess what they find? Nothing different than her husband found. So in tears, almost like this is it, they end up in the discharge center in the basement of Parkland Hospital, and guess who's discharging her? Jeanette Antonez, who takes a look at her paperwork in such a bleak view with almost nothing written because there's nothing they can do. And she takes a look at it. Before she says anything, she puts it down, and she puts her arm around her. She goes, let me tell you what you need to do now. And she said, and listen, with a belief more than most of the chiropractors that do this, because she had her own personal experience, looks at her and she says, now you're going to go see a doctor that I know can help. And she calls me, and you know if adjusting, I don't come off the shift. But when Jeanette Antonez calls, you answer. And she says, I've got a lady that needs to come see you today. And it was a Friday morning early. And so I said, bring her in. We'll make it happen. So we come in. We immediately get her in. We immediately check her out. She's not good at all. We found strangulated, choking pressure on her nerve supply and doesn't have any back pain, no neck pain, no headaches. But she's dying. And we see it clear as a bell. And I know why. I just looked at her. I said, listen, if I can remove the interference, God can do the healing. But I'm going to need to see you as much as possible and as long as possible. And so she came and I adjusted her all that morning. I said, you're going to come see me this afternoon too. And when she came in the front door crying. And being an internal optimist, I knew she was not doing very well. But it was because she was actually doing great. She was crying and she said, I'm so much better just in the hour since I saw you. I said, praise God. We'll get on the table. If I can remove the interference, your body can do the healing. And so we did that. And that was on a Friday. The next day was Saturday. We had a new patient orientation where they came in to look at x-rays. And the husband was there, the medical doctor. He said, I never heard this before. It doesn't make sense to me. But from what I've already seen, if you tell me to do it, we'll make sure that we do it. So we did it. We did it for 4 or 5 more days. And she's coming around to find the husband's like, I have to be honest. I didn't know how long she'd be here. My 2 children are at home. I have to get home to the kids. I said, listen, you're a patient. You're part of the family. I said, we'll take care of her here. So he flew home. Now it's her. She's coming in. We did this for 3.5 more weeks. And in 3.5 more weeks, she completely reversed every sign of disease in her whole body. She's back to better than she was before she ever even had any of the symptoms. And she's got a flight home. And I walk in the room. You guys know how I adjust. I'm back and forth in rooms. And I walk in the room, and she's sobbing. Tears just streaming down her face. Not 1 or 2. Wet. Her face is all wet. And she's got a smile on her face when she looks up. She's not laying down for adjustment. So I walk in the room, and I'm kind of stalled for a second. And she goes, I just got off the phone with my kids. I'm about to see my kids again. She goes, I'm getting on a flight here in a couple hours. I'm going to see my kids. And I give her a big hug. I said, it's so great to meet you. I'm so glad you got the results. And I'm about to leave the room to go get another person adjusted. And she grabs me with a force right on the bones of my wrist. And she keeps me from leaving the room. And she kept a hold of that. She looked me right in the eye. She goes, I don't think you heard me. She goes, I'm going to see my babies again. I get to see my kids again. And let me tell you something. That happened not because we found the one thing that everybody missed. It didn't happen because those essentials are true, although they are. It didn't even happen because of the spectacular, passion that a lady had in the discharge center at Parkland Hospital. It happened from one little barista who only told one person. And she told somebody because it was back pain, and how in the world could she have thought that that would have saved a mom where she could see her kids again? So let me tell you something. It takes two things to make this thing happen. Number one, it takes belief. And I hope you got that because you saw people that got results. And if you're sitting here, you've been to very minimum, you're one of those too. Deepen it. Keep on going. Okay? The second thing is it takes involvement. And I know this, every single person here, if you thought that you could save a mom from something like that, every person here, you would get involved, would you not? Yep. So listen, before you go, and we're done, but I want everybody to get this out. It's in your sack or it's in your packet, one of the two. And I'm going to stay right here until I see those in your hand. So just go like that. Just show it to me. Mike, you got one of those? You got it? So, hey, can you guys get Mike one? Good. Raise your hand if you don't have one of these. Raise your hand if you don't have one. Kathy needs one. Good. Eva, you got one of these? You got one? Good. Bob, Angel, you got one? Good. Excellent. Now, what I want you to do is this. Oftentimes, like at dinner or some of the workshops, I'll have you guys write down 10, 15, 20 names. The sheet has 25 names on it. We're not going to do that today. Now, if you want to flip this over and write more than 5, that's fine. But if every single person in this room writes 5 names down, the chances that we catch the lady who will come in with this type of situation is greater than ever possible. But if you're the one person that goes, hey, I've written some names before, I'm not going to fill one of these out, then you might be the reason that we don't reach that lady. And so before you leave, I want you to start right now. We're going to take just a couple minutes. He's going to put a little bit of music on, and I want you to fill this out. And I want you to make sure your name's on it, because we're not telemarketers. We're not going to call these people and try and sell them something or anything else. We're going to call them when I know that you've called them and let them know. We're going to invite them to a Lose to Win dinner so they can hear what you heard today, so they can get encouraged and they can know what life and health is all about too. So I want you to take your phone out. Everybody take your phone out? If you don't, that's where your phone numbers are, if you didn't know. I know you got your phones because I've seen some of you guys texting already throughout the event. He's running late again. So we're going to take a couple minutes. Now, as you do this, I want you to get all 5 spots filled in. Okay, so all 5 spots need to be filled in. So keep going. I don't want you to turn loose of that, so don't get it out of your hands or put your pen down until all 5 spots are filled up. But then when it is, I want you to pass it to the left, okay? Now, while you do that, I'm going to talk you through a couple other things, okay? So 8 years ago, somebody else came in from Parkland. Actually, and knew Jeanette Antonez and a bunch of other people. She came in from Parkland, and she was a nurse. And oftentimes, nurses come in, and they have a very medical way of looking at things. And so sometimes it can be kind of contentious. But it wasn't at all. She came in, she loves Jesus, and I love Jesus. She's got back pain, and it's completely gone. So she comes in, and this radically changed her life. So much, in fact, that she says, listen, it's hard for me to work at Parkland because I'm the head of the ICU unit in Parkland, youngest person ever hired for the position. And she says, it's hard for me to work in this environment and just prolong life or resist death, basically, and not give life what I'm seeing here. She's got a great career. She's got a great new house. She's got all this niceties. She's got a great future ahead of her. And she says, listen, I think God's telling me to do something. And it's extreme, but I need your advice. I think God's telling me to leave my whole career after I've gone to nursing school, after I've gone to college, after I went to high school, after I've gone all the education I'm supposed to get. I think he's telling me to leave all of that and go to chiropractic school. And she says, what do you think? I said, well, I'm not going to speak for God, but if you think he's telling you to go, then maybe you're supposed to go. And God affirms it in about 1 million different ways because she certainly needed that, and she left everything. And when I say that, she left her house. She left all of her niceties. She left a career that was the youngest person ever hired in that position ever, and she went to chiropractic school. And so she was still a patient. She actually, while she was in school and while she was going through, she was so passionate about this, she would drive and get people who could not drive themselves to the office and to workshops and to dinners so they could hear the message, because she just knew their life would be saved if they could just hear it. Then when she graduated, we all celebrated, and we couldn't wait for her to work someplace, and so guess what? We hired her. So we brought her into the office, and she started working. And we knew it was going to be great, because here's the person who's on the fire to save the world with us, right? And we were right. It was a natural fit. It was like having a daughter that is in the office and working hard. And every single day since then, she has worked tirelessly and late and early to make sure that every single one of you have had the greatest experience and the greatest results as a patient. But birds who grow up, who come out of a shell, who grow up getting fed in the nest, eventually what? They eventually have to spread their wings and fly on their own. And so the big announcement for Dr. Becky is that Dr. Becky is going to open her own clinic soon. She actually starts training in Naples, Florida, coming up very soon. So she's going to be with us. She's going to be with us for about another month. We're going to have a big celebration. The recipe night in the office is going to be a celebration of her, okay? So some of you guys go, well, I've already been to recipe night. There's a whole nother reason to come to recipe night. And so don't cry. You're going to make me cry. Why are you going to cry? So just so you know, you're going to have a month to say your highs and appreciations and goodbyes and those things. Although there's never a goodbye from our office. It's always a see you later. But we're hoping that, when she eventually opens office, it'll be somewhere. They're looking at different places from Florida to, so we're hoping it's here in Texas. She's saying it maybe North Dallas here. So point is, she's going to be around hopefully. So I want you to all give her big hugs. But listen, if you've noticed anything, she puts the timelines together. She makes sure that every table is where they should be. She contacts all the people who volunteer. She makes sure everything is lined up perfectly. Every little stitch and every little thing is here. Every little t-shirt gets rolled up perfectly so I can hit you with it. Every little thing is perfect because she did that. So before you leave today, give her a big hug and wish her well while she goes out. And she creates what we did here in even a better way as she spreads her wings and does it herself. Got it? Thank you.
Is it on? I can't believe that you just did that without crying.
I cried practicing.
I cried practicing, listening, and right now in the real moment. I certainly don't have time because you took the extra 20 minutes to give a long speech.
I told you we started 18 minutes late. I'm just going to throw it out there.
But really, everything that he said was completely true, but I'm going to have a chance to hug every one of you individually and talk to you over the next month, so this certainly isn't goodbye. But I wouldn't be able to tell you corporately that I would not even be able to think to go and do what I'm about to do, and I'm actually going to be partnering with Dr. Jaxie, if you don't know her, in the back to do this. Yeah, you can clap for her because she's completely amazing. Completely amazing. But I think I sat down with probably 99% of you in room one, and that's the majority of the reason that you're here today, but completely the reason that I'm here today, because I wouldn't be able to go and take care of thousands of other people had it not been starting with you guys and just seeing where you come and that you're sitting here at this point and your lives are changed and you know how to grocery shop and you're getting off medications. And there's just really nothing better than that for me. So thank you, all of you, because I wouldn't be able to go and do it had I not sat with each one of you individually. But then, most of all, when I started as a patient, just like all of you, and then I graduated chiropractic school. And of course, what you're supposed to do is go open your own practice after that, because that's just, what you do out of chiropractic school. But God told me not to do that right away, but from a biblical foundation, and we won't have a full message right now, but just a small message. And that was he put on my heart really the principle of helping to build another man's dream first, and then he'll supply and build yours even more than you can ever ask or think. So I hope that I've helped your dream come true. I hope I've helped you build your dream.
There's my dream.
Amen. So thank you. I love you.
I love you. still have to finish this. Okay, so, yeah. So last thing I'm going to leave with that, and like us on Facebook, is you are the average of the 5 people that you're around. My magic ball to see what you look like in a year or 5 is the people that you're around. Those people that you wrote on that card right there, hopefully they're the closest people around you, because they either eat a certain way, they either live a certain way. And I can tell you, it can be kind of rough if everybody that you're around is sicker, more broke, more depressed than you are. It might be a rough road ahead. I'm not saying ditch those friends. I'm just saying bring them up. Got it? And give them some of these principles. Let's do this. If you would, just bow your head. Let's pray it up. We're about to have a big, power-packed month. So, God, we just thank you for today. We thank you for the opportunity that we come together. And we ask, God, that you bless every single person here. That we know that the lives that are touched by what was said today and learned and revealed today, Father, doesn't just touch the lives that are having heartbeats in this room, but the ones that have souls that are outside of this building. We ask, God, that you just bless us in such a way that we're examples of the power that you put in each of us, that you blessed us to run a race perfect for you and a purpose, Father, that glorifies your name. And I ask, God, that as we leave this place, that you anoint the steps of every single person, that as we take great God-sized steps, or we take small steps towards you, that you take great God-sized steps towards us. So, Father, we love you. We praise you. Ask a blessing on everything that was done today that glorifies you in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, everybody. Have a great month. Guests, we will see you in the office. Big round of applause. Make sure you give Dr. Beck some hugs.